All right, welcome to another episode of Can You Connect? And this is Mr.WalkThatWalk. In today's episode, we're going to be going over dating somebody with a specific phobia or dating somebody with agoraphobia. And we're going to start off with specific phobia. So this disorder mostly goes over people who struggle with multiple types of phobias. And some of the people I looked up was maybe people who struggle with, let's say, bugs or animals. So in these situations, we're just doing hypotheticals. Like some of it, I researched like how certain people felt about it. And if you're having a phobia, let's say in regards to bugs, so let's say maybe this person will have issues with going out. So going outside to, let's say, going on a walk to the park, or they have certain fears of bugs to where maybe they have to have their partner around all the time to, protect them from the certain bugs in the area, or even animals. So to the point where they're afraid of certain animals. So y'all won't be able to, let's say, adopt a pet or get a pet because this person has a enormous fear of that particular animal, whether it be a dog or a cat or any other types of animals like a reptile. A lot of people are afraid of snakes, and a lot of people are afraid of spiders. So that's probably the top one, I believe, for animals. And for bugs, I definitely think it's spiders. Yeah. Those would be those top two. So these are certain things that will, if they're not able to work through those things, those are certain things that could hold them back from doing certain activities or having a certain experience with a pet because of those phobias. Some of the other phobias are heights. Some people are afraid of flying. So the biggest thing I would say is, if you're an adult, probably the issues you might have with a partner is you being you being able to travel and not being able to take a flight and having to drive. Sometimes you could drive across the country and no issue, but in certain occasions you're going to have to fly somewhere, or maybe you'll be taking like a boat, like a ship somewhere. Well, let's say not a ship. Well, I mean, you could say a ship because if somebody's afraid of, being out on the water, that could also be a fear as well. So if somebody's afraid of heights, so there's issues with planes. They're afraid of the sea, so they don't want to take a ship or boat anywhere. Those things can have a damper on your transportation and things you'll be able to take in traveling, unless that person feels supported, and they have to want to do it as well. It's not like it's not it's not like we can force them to do these things unless they want it for themselves. Other things are people having issues with pain. So it's either pain or, let's say, needles. So that's not it could potentially be a problem due to people having to get a vaccine. So maybe this person maybe get sick often, or they may get a sickness that may take them out because they didn't get a vaccine. So these are all things to consider when dating somebody with that particular type of phobia. Some of them have a phobia in regards to blood. So maybe they'll faint in regards to once they see blood. So this person may have issues with that, like if something happens, whether at the home or at or when you're out and about, anything can happen if you're doing like an activity like sports. People are prone to hurting themselves there. And these phobias often are in regard to trauma. Like somebody spoke about the blood phobia, where they saw somebody's finger get castrated off because it got stuck on the door, so all the blood gushing out. So that was a trauma response. There was somebody who talked about the spiders, and they said reading those kids' book on the spiders, probably because of how they look, that was pretty traumatizing for him. So there's things that are happening. There was somebody who said their sibling put them over the balcony and dangled them over the balcony, which made them afraid of heights. So there's trauma responses, and which turn into phobias. So something's going on to potentially make somebody have a phobia. Let's say that something happened. There's a reason why this happened. Like one of my family members had an issue with thunderstorms, and they were told that they have a fear of lightning and tornadoes and hurricanes, due to a fear of maybe being out and it being real bad, feeling like your life is in jeopardy. So these are certain things to keep in mind, that we don't have to be as hard on them. We can try to be more understanding, and if we're more understanding, then we're able to be encouraging and not judgmental. And that will be it for phobia. The next thing is going to be agoraphobia. So this one is somebody having a fear of public places and going out. And we're going to go over, this was a African American lady. She spoke about how, now most of these is trauma. Just like we said with the phobias, that's kind of the same thing for agoraphobia. So this lady, she went through, it was a family gathering, and her cousin, I guess out of nowhere, attacked her. And then when they were trying to get her away from the situation, he followed her and hit her with a car. So in turn, she grew a fear of going out, and it started from her being in the car. And then through that fear of being in the car, it grew to her just stepping outside the house. Like, it intensified. So now she began staying in the house. She didn't go anywhere. And it kind of, stopped her from being able to live the life she wanted to live. There was and the next person we're going to go over is, and last part is that she had a fear of being attacked, so she didn't go out because of that. So because of that situation, it literally caused like a domino effect on her mental health. And there is a Caucasian lady who went over that going to the door is hard. Like, having that mental thought of knowing that you have to go outside or you have to go somewhere, that brings up that anxiety and fear of not wanting to go. To the point where she hasn't left the city in years. And it dampened her relationships, her friendships, jobs. Because when she's trying to express how she feels, she doesn't feel heard and feeling judged, to where now she doesn't have support. You know, she doesn't get that support to where if she comes out, if she's able to make it out, you know, they say good job or I'm proud of you. Which that's what she mentioned wanting. She mentioned wanting for her peers to congratulate her on, you know, that she did come out, that she did make it out the house, rather than judge her about, you need to come out more. And even when she went out, she didn't really stay out that long. She'll be like for a little bit, maybe 10, 30 minutes, and then she's going back home. Because of the fear of something might happen while I'm out. Who's going to help me while I'm out? Who's going to look out for me? She didn't mention what happened to her, but most likely something traumatic happened to make her have these type of reactions. And our next person is going to be an African American male. He mentioned that his mother had it. His mother didn't go out or didn't go anywhere. So in turn, he didn't go out and go anywhere. Everything is walking distance. I think if he had a job, it was like walking distance, or food, that was walking distance. Didn't leave, didn't go anywhere. You know, to the point where he missed, because, you know, some of these people, they have other family members, to where they're missing out on birthdays, weddings, funerals. They're missing out on the important relationships with their family, with their friends. And that's a burden, because now that's guilt. Now you're carrying guilt on you about not being able to go to this place and support the people in your life. So these things were causing a lot of problems for them. For him in particular, because it almost felt like he felt trapped. He felt horrible about not being there. And feeling the pressure of wanting to go, but the fear of not letting him get that far. You know. And when they're out, to an extent, that causes a lot of panic attacks. So for him, what was helpful was having exposure therapy. From what I'm seeing, from most of them, having the exposure therapy, but not like extreme, but like slight, and when they're ready, that's probably been the most helpful for them. You know, practicing those deep breathing skills. And there was another lady, there was a Caucasian lady, she went over that she dealt with sexual abuse. So she was a victim of that, of assault. And that, so now in turn, she doesn't want to go out because she doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel like she could be out somewhere and feel safe anywhere. And because of that, She said that in her home, she feels most in control and most safe. Outside, she feels like she has no control of anything outside. And deals with intrusive thoughts of something bad is going to happen, which makes her want to go back inside. And oftentimes having nightmares about going to her favorite place to travel to, but feeling like she's going to end up missing everything because of her fears and end up just staying in a hotel room. So these are just some things to keep in mind if you're, dating somebody who has that, or dealing with somebody who has certain phobias. Just working on being very understanding of what they're going through and trying to be as supportive as possible. So this will definitely conclude this episode for today. Of course, we're going to be supporting a Black-owned business. This is a skincare company. They are BNapothecary. Yeah, I'll put all their description in the website. But I got their skincare. It's pretty cool. They got body butters, body oils, oils for the hair, facial oils as well. So, definitely check out their company. I'm going to put that in the description. And of course, I'm a clinical social worker for the state of Maryland. So definitely look up, if you need any services, definitely let me know. And of course, support the people who does the music and the artist who made my avatar. So yeah, all the information will be in the description. So yeah, I appreciate it. And y'all definitely have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the week. All right, go back to share screen. Here we go.